And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to AtTheTrack.live. My name is Coach James. I'm the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics, right here. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have learned all the science, after we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student gets to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything that they have learned in the course. Then, after they've selected their car, they examine their car, they weigh their car, they test the speed of their cars. They check the year the car was manufactured. They check what materials the car is made of. Enter all that information into a spreadsheet, and then set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip and have a series of races. And they watch and see how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on what they've observed? So in the end, we learn science, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, all about aerodynamics and how to bring it to your school or your organization or your special event, you can follow us on Instagram, AA Aerodynamics, or you can go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, and all the information you need will be there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics Presents AtTheTrack.live. So with AtTheTrack.live, it gives me the opportunity to go into storage, bring in some Hot Wheels cars that I haven't had a chance to open up, get into the fleet, into the mix yet, and do a little review. I have to take a picture of the car. I have to enter some information into my spreadsheet so that I can tell which cars I have, which cars I'm taking for the students to use, so I can bring those back, put them in the right place, have them ready to go for the next group of kids. And it was a boring process, so I created AtTheTrack.live to try and liven it up and make it a little more interesting for something that I had to do anyway. And I still do that. I go into storage, grab the cars, bring them out. But now, because of the live portion, you have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and you will have 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one's the Twitch stream link. You don't need those if you're watching now because you're already here. But the third link is the most important one. That is the one that says choose a car. And if you go to that link, then it will take you to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics AtTheTrack.live fleet. We are up to 895 cars. There are 895 different Hot Wheels cars listed, cataloged, organized. There are character cars. There are cars modeled after real cars. There are fantasy cars. There are trucks. There are food cars. This hot dog car, for example, was just picked recently. Hey, Never Ending. Hey, Rough Shot. Rough Shot had picked the Street Wiener a few weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, recently. And if food cars are your thing, we have one that's a slice of birthday cake There's another that is a sushi roll. There is a taco. I wonder if the taco, it's the carne asada, but it's open wheeled, and I don't know if it's actually, if we actually have one in the fleet or not. We may have destroyed the axle, but nevertheless, if a food car is what you want, a food car is what you'll find. Just scroll on through. We've got cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and some cars that were just released within the last few weeks. What Batmobiles, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, whatever kind of car, Corvettes we have a lot of. Trucks, we have a couple of fire trucks, we have buses, pickup trucks, vans, whatever it is that you're into. We have that kind of Hot Wheels car represented here somewhere if we don't have the exact car. If you like gimmick cars, we've got this Berserk that has a buzzsaw blade right in the middle. There is the Tooligan that has a wrench on the back. There are a couple of those cars with the gimmick where the mouth on the whatever animal is being depicted moves. We have a shark that I think, a shark car where the mouth moves, and then a truck that's supposed to be a wolf and the hood bounces up and down. Whatever it is, all you have to do is scroll through, find the car you want, and then you can take the number, take that number, you drop it in the chat, and I will pull that car. And once we pull that car, then we will enter that car into the tournament, and it will hit the track, and we will find out if that car is going to be able to beat the other cars that I introduced, but somewhat more importantly, if it is going to be able to compete to become our fastest in fleet car. And our current fastest in fleet car is this one. It is and has been the BlitzSpeeder. And if you've watched any of these episodes before, you know that this is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. It has been blowing out cars left and right. But last year, toward the end of the year in the fall, it lost a race. It lost two races, because our race is the best 2 out of 3. It lost 2 races and was out. The Gazella R came in and beat it and became our new fastest in fleet car. Well, a few months later, BlitzSpeeder, we brought it back and for a rematch, and it absolutely destroyed the Gazella R to reclaim its championship and has not looked back. The BlitzSpeeder has not lost any single races and is still our champion. And the races have not really been all that close. So we're going to find out today if we can find a car that is faster, either from the cars that I introduce or from the cars that the viewers pick. And let's see. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? Oh, here's something interesting. Okay, so Never Ending, it was kind of interesting. He initially picked this car, the Solar Reflex. Was going to be his pick, and we looked at it in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, and that was a pick. This is the former fastest in fleet car from probably sometime early last year. Around there. I think probably the Draftnator was the car that beat this one. But that was going to be his pick, and we were going to see if the Solar Reflex was going to be able to come back and do what the BlitzSpeeder did, which is lose, come back, reclaim the title. But I see here that Never Ending, he's switching up his pick. He wants to go with car number 209. And so let's go ahead and take a look and see which car that is. 209. Oh, wow. Okay, so he's going with the Basher 2, which is very interesting because this is a car that I had when I was a kid. and it was part of this series. I think it was called Crack Ups or something like that. And I've mentioned this before, but there were like 4 of these, and I have all 4 in the fleet. I just don't know what the numbers are and the names offhand. But each car has kind of simulated damage, and I believe it's on the other side, so I'll show it when I pull this car, that it shows damage. So on the other side, the door panel looks just like this with the number 3, but if you bang a car into it, another Hot Wheels car into it, then that door, it has a little spring and it flips around, and then it looks like it's been damaged in an accident. So this one is one that shows damage on the side. Then I have one that's called like the rear ender, where the damage is in the back. Then there's one where the damage is in the front, and maybe there's only 3, but I'm thinking there were 4. But I definitely have those because there's damage. The one with the damage in the back is blue. It's like a blue hatchback. Then the one with the damage in the front is black, and then there's this one. So there may not be a 4th one. But anyway, this is the car. So this car is old school. This is definitely an 80s car, and you can see, I can tell you firsthand, it is a metal body on a metal base, which means it is heavy, and we'll see how that works out on the track, if this is indeed the car that Never Ending sticks with. So I will put a little note here so that I remember to go pull that. That is car number 209, and that is the Basher 2. So we will see. We've got a car from the 80s, potentially. Roughshod is going with that Scorpedo. And when we were talking about the character cars, like we've got this Arachnarod. So we've got a spider. I think there's one that's some kind of bee. And then, but we're going with this Scorpedo. And Christopher is going with a more traditional supercar, Bugatti. And we'll pull that and take a look at all of those. And we have, a few cars already in the mix. But we're going to talk about, real quick, a car that we raced a few weeks ago. And when I pick these cars, it's either because I think they're cool, or because I think they're going to be fast on the track. And this car in particular was one that I picked because I thought it was just cool. Just kind of caught my eye. I don't even know how cool it is. Just kind of caught my eye. It was this one, the Buns of Steel. And it is in that food series. And it had the little basket of fries above the cab. It had the burger on the back. It had the little menu. Had the little Angry Burger on the side. The larger wheels in the front, smaller wheels in the front. I like the stance. What I didn't like was the fact that this burger it looked like it got dipped in caramel, the whole thing. And they didn't color there's no difference between the bun, the cheese, the tomatoes, the lettuce, the burger. And come on, Mattel, you can do a little better than that. Give us something. So I decided, I had 2 projects going on this week, and I figured, well, let me get one of them knocked out and out of the way, and it was this one. So I decided, you know what? Let me get some acrylic paints and see what I can do to paint this. It can't come out any worse. So last night I went ahead and painted it, and this is what the result is. Let me shrink this down. And now we've got a a Buns of Steel car with a burger that actually looks like a burger. Got a little bit of lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, all that, and even threw some sesame seeds there on the bun. If you want to see how this masterpiece came to be, I posted the video because I was testing out I have another computer set up, and it's set up by a table where I can have more space and a little bit more area to work for some projects. And so I was just getting that set up last night, and it took a while because I had to keep running back to Target to get either a cable or this or that. But I wanted to knock this out. So anyway, if you want to watch the full video, for some reason the video's almost 2 hours long. I don't know why it took 2 hours to paint that burger, but it's kind of like the old PBS Bob Ross thing. I'm painting and talking and whatever. But anyway, even though the Buns of Steel will probably never ever get picked again, at least to race, it is now a little bit more attractive because we've gone from this caramel colored burger to at least something that is easily and quickly identifiable as a burger. So that is the Buns of Steel, and if you decide to pick that, why you would pick that, I don't know. It had a hard time on the track, but it's car number 892, and there it is, the Buns of Steel. So we now are going to get into the cars that are going to show up today, potentially, and be on our track and try to take out the BlitzSpeeder. Yeah, Roughshot Head, he says the closest he came to beating the BlitzSpeeder was with 221 with that slide kick. And yeah, the slide kick is one of a few cars that it's got the exact right aerodynamic profile to hang with the BlitzSpeeder and kind of reduces the amount of drag enough that it can hang. So yeah, it was the slide kick. There was the Whip Creamer 2, which is another one that was pretty fast, and I think it also kind of hung with the BlitzSpeeder. So it's it's just one of those things. You gotta find the right car, but that car needs to have some things in common with the BlitzSpeeder if it's gonna be really trying to compete for that fastest in fleet title. Christopher says he just picked up a BlitzSpeeder at his local Walmart. Yeah, I've seen them now. Now they're in the stores. Christopher, was yours green? The one that I picked up most recently was, and I can't show it on I can't show it on the green screen because it won't show up. It'll be invisible. But this is the one that I picked up most recently. And what I'm hoping is that Never Ending gets a hold of one and tests it on his track, because he has a gravity track over on his channel, and I want to know if the BlitzSpeeder performs as well on the gravity track as it does on our flat drag track. And Never Ending, that's your assignment. You gotta let us know. And his channel is now, it's the Hot Wheels Racing Simulator. So definitely check that out. And I'll be interested to see if the BlitzSpeeder performs the same way, because we took this BlitzSpeeder, this new one, and put it on the track against our current BlitzSpeeder, and the race was very close. Our current BlitzSpeeder, the yellow one, won the race, but it was very close. So it shows that it's not about the specific car, it's about the BlitzSpeeder, the overall design of the car, which makes it which actually makes it perform as well as it does on the track. So that is what we're looking forward to. So Never Ending, that's your homework assignment on the Hot Wheels. What was it? The Hot Wheels Racing Simulator on his channel. Then Christopher brings up about, so on Wednesday we put the cars in the wind tunnel, and we've introduced the Runsable, which was the little dyno, and we sat the cars on there. And 2 weeks ago it wasn't working right. Last week it was working, but there's some issues with it. It's kind of big and bulky. It does raise the cars up, but it raises them up so much that it ends up interfering with the first two levels of smoke. And because it's doing that, it's just not really what we wanted, because the smoke hits the Runsable and then starts to flow all over the wind tunnel chamber. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a 1/64th scale wind tunnel. We put the cars in there on Wednesday, turned it on, and we can check out the aerodynamic profile as the air flows over, under, and around the cars. But this wind, it's just too big and too bulky. So what I decided to do was try and build something to lift the cars up, but not be in the way in the same way that the Runsable is. And so I got an idea. I bought the parts that I would need to make the thing, but like I said, I had to set up a different computer and streaming, get a different streaming setup on the other computer, and so that I could get a camera on my work table. And that took longer than I expected, so I was gonna do that project last night, but it started to get late, and so I figured that the easier thing to do would be to paint that burger. Since I had the two projects, paint the burger and then build the thing for the Runsable and to lift the cars up. So in the next day or two, now that I have the setup over there pretty much in place, I will be doing that project. So if you have the little bell, notification bell or whatever on, I'll pop up and I'm going to go through the project from beginning to end. And there's wood glue involved, so there's going to be a little bit of setup time. We're going to have to wait for the glue to set up in order to really test everything out. But I bought all the little wood pieces that I need, and it's ready to go. So I will be doing that live in the next couple of days. So by Wednesday it will be ready. But if you want to, for some reason you want to watch me go through that process, then just keep an eye on the YouTube live notifications. All right, now I bought a bunch of cars this week, which is what I'm supposed to be doing, is going into storage, getting those cars and bringing them out. But every time I go into the store, you know how it is. You walk down that toy aisle, you see those cars, and if there's something new, something cool, then I pick it up. Now, one thing I picked up was this Matchbox, another fire truck, the Blaze Blaster 3. And I didn't pick this up to introduce to race. I picked it up because I'm thinking, we have quite a few fire trucks. There's some Hot Wheels fire trucks. We had that white Matchbox fire truck that actually did get introduced into the fleet a little while back. Was it called? No, not the Rapid Pulse. I forget what the name was, but we definitely had it, and it did well. It did much better than I would have expected it to do. And I'm trying to see if I can remember what the name of it was. Thank you, Christopher. Scania P360. Yep. And that is car number 865, so not too long ago. So what I want to do is, we've got enough fire trucks, and so at some point I'm going to have a special fire truck race to find out the fastest fire truck. So I just have to go through and identify them, because the Hot Wheels are not necessarily named fire truck. They've all got these, you know, the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox, the Scania P. This one's the Blaze Blaster. I forget what that green fire truck is that we just saw when I was scrolling through the cars, but I want to find out the fastest fire truck. And probably my bet would be on the Hot Wheels version, but you never know. So anyway, I picked that up. I also picked this up for another reason. This boat, this Coast to Coast, because I have a few of these boat type cars. We have some hovercrafts, some boats, and as long as the wheels are not as long as it has 4 wheels and not 3, then we could race it on the track. Sort of. It's got the little skinny disc wheels, and these are smaller than the disc wheels that I usually complain about, but it's got 4 of them, so it could actually be on the track. Thank you, Christopher, again. Christopher has all the answers. This is you're the person to ask for all the Hot Wheels related questions, and Matchbox. So the Hot Wheels fire truck is one of them is the 5-alarm. Then we've got the Scania P360, which is the Matchbox fire truck, and then the Blaze Blaster 3. And I think I may have another one in there. I know that when I was a kid, I had one. These are some of the old cars that I had from when I was a kid, and in most cases the axles are all bent up, and so I can't really do anything with them. But I do see in here, and I don't know why it's necessarily in here and not somewhere else. This one. This is an example of what I was talking about. But anyway, the point I was gonna make is that I definitely have somewhere around here this red fire truck that I used to play with all the time. I remember it was red. The ladder on the side was yellow. But let me switch over here and show you this. So that Basher 2, that's the car that Neverending's going with. This is, I don't even know if these cars have names on the bottom. They don't, so I'd have to look it up. But again, it's part of that Crack Up series. So if you look at that front end, it's been bashed in, and the hood has popped up. But what you do is you flip this around, you flip the front end around, and it's like it never even happened. It's like it went to Mako and got all straightened out. So this is from the same series that let me see. I'm trying to find a car that I wouldn't mind bashing into this one. This is from the same series that Neverending's car is from. So if you take this and you bang it in there, then it flips up, and you have that kind of front end damage. So that is part of the series. I'm still not sure why this car is not. Usually any car that's not in the fleet, that's in one of these side cases, it's because the axle is bent. And that doesn't seem to be the case with this one. So who knows, one day that might get in there. Speaking of old school, I don't know if anybody ever used to collect these. They were called fast ones. I don't know. I don't remember who made these. Maybe Kenner. Yeah, Kenner. They were called fast ones, and the little gimmick with these was that they had license plates. And this one has New Mexico license plate. Let me switch over here, take a look. And yeah, I don't think these lasted long. I had a few, but that was basically it. Fast ones, and they had the license plate. That's pretty much the extent of it. They weren't. It feels a little cheap, and feels very plasticky. But you know, I have a few of those. For whatever reason, that one is also not in the fleet, but maybe one day it could be. So I have a bunch of these Hot Wheels cars, old ones. Anyway, it's just I got off on a side note, because if I can find that old fire truck, I might put that into the fire truck races. All right, enough with the cars that I have not. I'm not going to use. Hey, Beyblader, going for car number 34. We'll check that out and see what that is in a little bit. All right, what do I have? What else did I pick up? So once we get away from the boats, this one is going into the fleet. This is called the Hot Wheengs, and it's part from the food series, and it's essentially, it's a bottle of hot sauce that they turned into a car. You can't see some of this because it's green and there's a green screen. But what it says on the back, Hot Wheengs, born in 2024 in El Segundo, bring the heat with Hot Wheengs. This mouth-watering menace has 4 wheels for impeccable track control and 4 sets of side exhaust to disperse the sauce's heat for tire-melting, taste bud sizzling speed. Don't forget the side of ranch. All right, so the Hot Wheengs, Wheeengs, Hot Wheengs, is going to be the next car into the fleet. Let's open it up. Oh, Christopher says that 5 alarm was also, there was a monster truck version. Interesting. All right, so we know that check the weight. The weight of the BlitzSpeeder is 32.4 grams. The sweet spot for these cars is between 32 and 36 grams. This Hot Wheengs is 37.1 grams, so it's just outside the range that we like to refer to as the sweet spot. And we are going to find out if this car, now this is one we're going to take. We're going to take this full kind of 360 look, and I'm going to try and shoot the video. I changed the lighting, and so I'm going to see if that was the reason why this camera sort of constantly overheated or not. And we'll find that out pretty soon. So it's got the little label on the neck of the bottle right there that shows the heat level. The clear plastic bottle. It's got this, after I got the video, I'll tilt this up, and you can see the little logo of the person whose tongue is on fire, eyes are on fire. A little Hot Wheels logo on the bottom of the bottle there. Let's see, Hot Wheengs. It's got the little bottle cap, the flames. I think I like this one. I mean, obviously I like it. Or I wouldn't have picked it up. But yeah, I definitely like this. Like the design, especially with the fantasy cars. They're not restricted on what they can do, and I like when they sort of take the theme and just go all out. And I like this one. So, all right, we got our little video. Now I just need to get a photo, still photo, and of the Hot Wheengs. Slide up here. Go ahead and zoom on in, and this is car number 896. basically, let's get a little fill light in there, and boom. We have the hot wings ready to go, and let's take a closer look at this. Got a little bit of a glare, but oh, I see. The guy's tongue is the Hot Wheels logo. So his tongue's on fire, but it's also the Hot Wheels logo. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like this one. And I'm gonna go. How spicy are you getting your wings? I'm going just a little bit above whatever medium is. I'll go a step above that, but I'm not getting into that category where you need to drink milk afterwards in order to calm down the heat. So this is pretty. I like this car. It's kind of cool. Little driver in there. I can't tell what the driver is supposed to be, and neither can you because there's not enough light. So let me shine some light there. Not really a lot of detail on the driver or the racer, but overall I like what they did with this car. So the hot wings, it's weighing in at 37.1 grams. I don't know that is I mean, it's not so heavy that it's gonna impact the car in a negative way, but I really have no idea what this is gonna do. So we've got the hot wings, and we'll see how that goes. Another car that I picked up was, all right, so this one, I'll just go get right to it. This is my favorite pickup, my favorite recent pickup, and it's a Matchbox car. It is the Radical SR3 XXR, and it's just a cool looking car. We kind of know the history of Matchboxes on our track, so I'm not overly confident that it's going to be a top performer, but it is a good looking car, and like all Matchbox car, it is modeled after a real car. So there's a car manufacturer, Radical Motorsports, and this is one of their creations. So let's go ahead and crack this open and take a look. Alright, let's see here. It's got a little bit of a Ferrari kind of vibe to it. Weighs in at 33.3 grams, which is good. Let's go ahead and put it over here and take a look. This is the Radical, what is it? SR3 XXR, which is a lot. All right, let me go ahead and just take the picture since we've already got it sitting. And I like that low splitter. Just a good looking car. Can't go wrong with the red and the black. I like the little red accents on the rims, and it's got a kind of a Ferrari / go-kart vibe to it. So let's get this moving around. See if I can get this video, and if we can keep getting these videos and let me back this up just a little. If we can get these videos and the camera doesn't overheat, then I think the experiment will show that the problem was with the light, and that the light that I had very close to the camera was just creating too much heat, perhaps. But if this thing shuts off, then we'll know that that wasn't the problem, and I'll have to figure there's something wrong with the camera. Checking the year the hot wings was manufactured, and I don't see that on listed on the bottom, so I will have to look that up. Nope, it's not on there. Hey Caitlin, how you doing? All right, she's in the process of making her pick. She's got plenty of time to do that. And also with this Radical, so you've got the driver's canopy, but if you look at the back of it, it's open. So the air is going to flow right through all the way to the back. It is not going to be stopped. In some of the other cars we've seen, you know, that area behind the driver's seat would be a solid piece, which would create drag and sort of prevent the air from flowing across the body of the car. Well, that's not the case here. So we've got the Radical SR3 XXR. I like this car, and the weight's good, 33.3. It's got the low profile, the flat wing in the back that's going to press right up against the launching block. And, you know, Matchbox cars, we've had a few that have been good, but never, we've never had a Matchbox car take the main tournament. So this could be the first one to do that. And just a lot of nice details that, you know, I talk about sometimes Hot Wheels and Matchbox and Mattel are hit and miss, but you got the little carbon fiber right there on pattern on this back corner. Yeah, just a nice good looking car. Oh, okay. Now we've got, this is very interesting. So Never Ending switched his pick, and he decided to go with the Basher 2. Now Caitlin, he left that opening, has seen the Solar Reflex. She's seen, you know, what it looks like. I don't know if you had a chance to catch it in the wind tunnel, but it's a former fastest in fleet car, and it is the car that I've been talking about since Never Ending brought it up. It's the car that I expect to win this tournament and be right there nose to nose with the BlitzSpeeder in the end. So that's very interesting. Okay, I will write that down. So now we've got the Solar Reflex. Caitlin coming in to the spot after it was vacated by Never Ending, who went with the Basher. He went old school, went back to the 80s. So we've got the Basher 2, the Solar Reflex. We've got Christopher's Bugatti Roughshod Scorpedo, and we have the Hot Wheels, and we have the Radical SR3 XXR. So now we are, if we stopped right now, we'd be set up for a good afternoon of races. But we are going to, let's see, 2023 is the year that this Radical was manufactured. So we are going to go with that one, 2023. Put that in there. Oh yeah, we'll see. I mean, last week I think it was there was a matchup. It was Roughshod's car against Virgo, and so there was that showdown. So we may get Caitlin versus Never Ending, and we'll see how that goes and what happens, and which car comes out on top and who gets those bragging rights. But I think I would go. My money is on that Solar Reflex because I just remember it being really fast from before. But then again, it was beaten. It was beaten out. It is not currently our fastest in fleet car, but we are going to see. That is the whole point why we race these cars. All right, so we've got that. Let's see, what else did I pick up? I have this one from, I'm not sure where I got it, but I think this is one I found in storage. Oh, let me switch view. This is the 95 Mazda RX-7 Drift car, and I am going to check, let's see, to just double check and see if I have one. Christopher, I saw your message about the track connectors, and so what I'm going to do is I have the track connectors, and I could use those to raise the cars up, but I am going to try and build the little car lifts that I was describing now that I have my other setup over by the work table, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we have a 95 RX-7. We actually have two of those, car number 525 and car number 413, but we do not have a 95 Mazda RX-7 Drift car. We do now, so I'm going to crack this open and we'll take a look. And this is from some series, Hot Wheels series called 70s versus 90s. It's a battle of the decades in this fan voted collection. So, okay. I don't remember voting. Did any of you vote? It says 2024, so I guess this had to have happened recently. Not sure. But we've got the car here, so let's see. All right. We have this one weighing in at 32.9 grams, and that puts it right at the front end of what we like to call the sweet spot for these cars. And here it is. And I think, let me adjust this just a little. All right. And yeah, I think that other light was, I think it was just giving off too much heat, and that is what was causing the that particular iPhone to overheat. It's a theory, but if we get through three videos and don't have an issue, then I've got to believe that's what it is. I bought these smaller, I was at Costco, and I don't know, I've got something, I'm always buying flashlights, and I've got all kinds of and not regular flashlights, just different lights that some have magnets on them, some have different mounts, some are squares, some are tall, some are on tripods, some are little wands, whatever, because I never know what's going to work best to highlight these cars or to highlight some area that I'm that I need to get some light on. So when you're shooting any kind of video or taking pictures, light is definitely your friend. 95 Mazda RX-7 Drift. So we've got this yellow Mazda, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. I just don't expect it to do, I definitely don't expect it to beat that solar Reflex. And if it does, then I'll be surprised. I think it'll probably be, if I had to guess, I would think it would be competitive with the Radical SR3. I think that's probably about where this car will land. Zoom on in. Get that picture. And we now have the Mazda Drift car as a part of the fleet. Welcome in with these lights. So yeah, these are the lights that I have around the cars, and then there's a wand light to put that's like right over the top of the car. Then there's a bigger, probably about a 6-inch panel LED above that to kind of light the whole area. But these are what I picked. I picked these little lights up at Costco. It came in a pack of 3, and they actually attach to a headband, so some directional thing, and you can change the colors. There's a red light and a green light. If you switch to the green light, if you remember an old game I used to play back on probably the first Xbox, Splinter Cell, the character always had, you would always switch over to these night vision lenses or whatever, and there was on the front of the pack, it was always him with the thing on his headband and the green light. Anyway, my son says I have I can't pass by a flashlight. I've got this mounted light, which has these that come off the side, and you can rotate those and get them in whatever position. It's got the magnet on the bottom. It's also got the little hook that you can pull out and hang it. I've got this. I've got a couple of these wand work lights that have the light on the bottom. There's also a light here, a little flashlight component. Got this, whatever, it can sit and can rotate different ways. Has the magnet, lights on the top, lights on the back. So I've got a ton of these lights for every conceivable kind of lighting situation. But I think that the big Duracell light, I think it was just giving off too much heat, and that's what was causing the issue with the car. Oh, okay. So Never Ending playing Splinter Cell as well. Yeah, my son and I used to play it, and so when I showed him this light, this is the one with the headband, and I turned on the green light and took a picture. And if you remember in the game, he was always calling in his boss or his handler or whatever was Lambert, and that's what my son called me. He said, "Oh yeah, there's red." Here I go messing with this thing. I just got these the other day, but anyway, they were at Costco on sale. Had to pick them up. All right, so we've got. We're gonna put this one in. This is the twin Dorado, another one that's new, a newer release from 2025, and maybe they released it sooner. Actually, no, because on the back it says born in 2024 down the street in El Segundo. Real life autos and collectible toy vehicles collide in this dynamic combo of legendary Hot Wheels originals with smoking twin V8s inside the Diora inspired pickup, propelling the twin mill inspired cabin. The checkered flag will fall in record time. Okay, so they combined a Diora and a twin mill to make this. So let's go ahead and check it out. The twin Dorado. And the weight on this one is 31.6 grams, so it's not very heavy at all. And it is just slightly below our sweet spot, but we're not going to hold that against it. We are going to go over here and switch over, take a look. If the switchers, oh, there we go. All right, so we've got our twin Dorado, and I will get this still picture first. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is Christopher's favorite game from the PS1. I like that. The Need for Speed games were great. What I didn't like, I think on that one, it had a split screen. What I didn't like was ultimately when everything, I guess, got geared towards streaming and playing online, or co-op online kind of stuff, is that they stopped having split-screen racing games. So it's almost like they never expected you to have a friend or another person in your house with you playing the game. And so the racing games ended up being where you couldn't race against your friend in a split screen unless if they were there in the same place. They'd have to be at home on their own console in order to have that experience. And that kind of was unfortunate because my son and I liked playing these racing games. And I think one of the Need for Speed games earlier on, definitely, and it may have been Hot Pursuit. Was that a split screen game? If so, let me know. Okay, this car number 899, and this is the twin Dorado, and the year on the manufacturing is not listed, but on the box it said 2024, so I think we'll go with that. Twin Dorado, and list that is 2024. All right, this one is not. I think this may be, if I had to pick a sleeper car, and one. Basically, the sleeper cars are cars that you don't really expect much out of, that kind of catch you by surprise with their performance on the track. And this could be one of those cars. It's possible. It is very possible. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just checking to see which car we have, because we're at $899. I kind of think we should take it up to 900, just even it out. And I think we'll do that with we have a couple to choose from. And yeah, I think we'll go with a little unique pick for this next one, for our 900th car. It's also one that I recently picked up, and can't help it. Always gotta. You know what? Actually, no. I know what we're gonna do. I know what's gonna be our 900th car. Presuming I don't have one, since we've had all of this video game talk. Let me just double check and make sure we don't already have one. And ABC. Let's see, Ford Fusion. Great, we don't have one. All right, the next car up is going to be this Ford Falcon race car, and it weighs in at 32.9 grams, and this is it. So since we had all of the video game talk, why not put the car with the Xbox and the Forza logos on there? So this is going to be our 900th car, and let me drop it in. And absolutely, hey Beyblader. So let me get this one in here. This is, what did I say? The Ford Falcon race car, and I will get this video here of this one, and we have 900 cars. That's a lot. We're inching towards 1,000, and when we get to 1,000, that is when I am going to put up a new page. I'm going to start a new page for the cars. I don't know that it's advisable to have 1,000 cars on a page, but that's what we've got. So I'm gonna see if that all works out. All right. I'm just trying to check. I thought something had frozen up, but I can see it is just a side monitor that I have. It's not cooperating, but this car pretty standard. I mean, it's got the flat wing in the back, so it's going to get a good solid push out of the launching block. I just don't. There's nothing that screams to me that this car is so special that we are going to have a shocking or surprising performance. I think it's just a good solid car that I think in most cases will perform fairly well. But when we are talking about ultimately going up against the BlitzSpeeder, you need to be better than fairly well. You need to be really, really fast. And I just don't see it from this car, but I could be wrong. All right, so we've got that car there. All right, so now we've got the Ford, let me check the year it was manufactured, the Ford Falcon race car. The year is 2011, so we're good on that. Let me put that into the spreadsheet here. 2011. All right, we've got some picks coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and write these down, and then I will pull the cars, and then we will hit the track. So let's see here. We have Beyblader is, let's see. Now, okay, so you've got 34. Your sister's got 55. Let me just write that in there. And then we've got Keegan coming in. How you doing? With 233. Car 233. So let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see what all these cars look like. All right. Everybody's getting it in just under the wire. Now, see, Christopher, we raced that green BlitzSpeeder, and we had that BlitzSpeeder versus BlitzSpeeder race, and that golden BlitzSpeeder won. And the races were close because they're both BlitzSpeeders, but the champ is the champ. And until a car comes in to beat the champ, then the champ has to step up to defend its title. Okay, so let's see. Beyblader. So first, we're going to look at car number 34. The mid-drift. Okay, going with the compact car. And so that's a solid pick there. So let me get that. All right, so we got the mid-drift. And then we're talking about, so your sister wants to go with car number 55. So let's see what that is. 55 is the, Nemo. Nemo is a popular pick with the students. And it's actually a good pick just because of that teardrop shape. And that is the most aerodynamically efficient shape that there is. And we will see what Nemo's got. All right. roughshod with the Scorpedo. We got the solar reflex from Caitlin, the Bugatti, Christopher, and oh, let's see what Keegan's, what he's cooked up. Car number 233. 233 is gonna be right here. Okay, he's going kind of traditional. The Porsche Carrera, and all right, we are set. We have a good lineup. We're gonna have a lot of races. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and pull these other cars that we don't already have out. We'll take a quick look at those, and then we will be ready to hit the track. So I'm going to throw on this bathroom break music. I'm going to go look for the cars, and then we'll come back and be one step closer to hitting the track. So I'll be back after I pull these cars. see. I just need to make a little note here for the mid drift. All right, let's take a look at some of these cars. So let's start off. So Roughshod decided to go with the Scorpedo, which is this one, and we see exactly what's what with this. It is designed as a Scorpion race car, and we had it in the wind tunnel, and I think everything's good. It's just a question of what happens to the air. Let me lock in the focus. What happens to the air that hits the car in this area? Is it going to stay trapped? Is there a way for it to kind of pass through? How is that going to impact the car? Not sure. Initially, I was worried that this back part of the tail was going to be the only point of contact with the launching block, but that's not a worry because this bottom part sticks out. So really, these 2 points are going to be the parts that press up against the launching block. So even though it's lower, I think ideally you kind of want that point where the car gets pushed out to be higher. I haven't tested this out, but I think the lower points, when it pushes it out, can result in the car going up into the air. I don't know that for a fact, but I know that the cars that we've seen with the wings that are right at the roof line don't tend to jump up as much, so there might be something to that. Maybe, maybe not, but we're going to see how the Scorpedo performs. I think this car is probably, if I had to pick, I would say that's probably got the biggest question mark, at least for me, in my mind. And let's check the weight. The weight of the Scorpedo, and I also like the fact that it's got those larger wheels. They look like faster than ever wheels, and if that's the case, there might be a little more to this Scorpedo than I thought. All right, so it weighs in at 33.5 grams, so that is good. Nice spot. Now we're going to take a look at this Porsche Carrera GT, which is Keegan's pick. And let me check the weight first. The weight is 36.5, so it's just a half a gram outside of what we would consider the sweet spot, which is 32 to 36 grams. It's a Porsche, so it's got, although it doesn't look like kind of the traditional Porsche. This is definitely got a little bit different style to it. But I don't think there's anything wrong. That weight I think what we may see with this car is it's slowing down toward the back end of the track, but we will have to just keep an eye on that and see if that ends up being the case or not. But we've got that. Next up, we have this Nemo car. So let's see what that weighs. That weighs 33.2 grams, and it is this one. It is compact. It's got that teardrop shape, which is really ideal in terms of, we're always talking about wanting to reduce the amount of drag, and this car should be able to do that with that shape. And the back, the fin, wing, fin, tail fin, wing is right there. It's going to be pressed up against the launching block, and so it's not at the roof line, but it's right in the center, so it should get a good solid push. I've seen this car race before, and one thing I always say, it's always about matchups and which car is it going to match up against. So this car is compact, but it's not quite as compact as the car that was picked by Beyblader's sister, which is the Mid Drift, and that one is compact, but it's metal on metal. So let's see what it weighs. It weighs in at 36.5 grams, so it's right there. So I think maybe it's just coincidence that this car, that's where it weighs in, but this is a good solid. Oh wait, Beyblader, his sister picked Nemo. He's picking the mid-drift, this one right here. And I like this as a pick. The weight, again, it's just half a gram outside of the kind of sweet spot. But we've seen, like with the Chaparral 2, these compact cars, metal on metal, the weight isn't necessarily a bad thing for them. And yeah, I like the look of this car. Those huge fenders aside, it's pretty good car. Flat wing in the back. It's going to press up against the launching block, and yeah, this car I think will will do well. It should. I won't be surprised if it does well. The weight, it may be a situation you always got to look for. Cars slowing down at the back end of the track. Now, we are looking at the Basher 2, which is the car that Never Ending switched to. He moved away from the Solar Reflex, which I still believe is going to be lined up against the BlitzSpeeder and possibly taking it out at the end of the day. Instead, he switched over to this car that I had when I was a kid. And you can see right there, that's what I was talking about, the side panel damage. And then you flip it over. It just kind of rolls over. And now it's as good as new. And I'm shocked that, as old as this car is, that feature still works. But it does. And this is the car. It is weighing in at an outrageous 47.1 grams. This is by far the heaviest car that will be rolling down our track today. And the shape and style is fine. The back end being flat, perfect. But that weight is going to be a problem. It's absolutely going to be a problem. And what I would suggest is, when you're looking to pick cars, now obviously the mid-drift is metal on metal, but you can see the reflection in the pictures on that page, so you can see if a car is a metal car. And usually the older cars tend to be that cars from the 80s, a lot of metal on metal cars, and 70s, 80s, and they're just going to be heavy. And on our track, heavier does not equal better performance. It usually means that a heavier car is going to slow down toward the back end. This car, depending on which car it matches up against, and I have a feeling it's going to be, I mean, that would be totally unfair to have the Caitlin Never Ending matchup of the Solar Reflex and this car. But I think most of the cars in this group are going to be able to beat this car down the track. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because you never know, which is why we always have to race the cars. We are looking at Christopher's Bugatti right here. This is a solid pick. And certain cars, Lamborghinis, most of the Ferraris that I have, and the Bugattis, win or lose, you can't really knock the pick. Like, they're just good, solid picks. We're talking about, we want cars to race. We want cars with good aerodynamic profiles. And these are the cars that meet that qualification. So we've got this Bugatti here, classic supercar. I believe we put it in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. And from what we could see, this car is a definite solid pick. So we've got that Bugatti. And then, of course, the car that I expect to be right there in the finals is this one. The Solar Reflex. There is nothing obstructing the airflow right across the top. And I think that's one of the things that made this car one of our fastest in fleet champions. Before it was defeated, so it was beaten out, but I fully expect this car to be in the finals against the BlitzSpeeder, and possibly, I say this every week, possibly taking the BlitzSpeeder all the way out. So we are going to see if that happens. If it does happen, that would be wild to think that Never Ending had picked the winning car, only to change his mind and go in a different direction. But hey, it happens, and we'll see if how that decision ultimately ends up. So we are now about to hit the track, and if you have never watched an all about aerodynamics at the track live race before, this is what you are about to see. you are going to see our 3-camera racetrack view, and the cars are going to start at the top of the screen on the left. I am going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race, and then the cars are going to fire out of our launcher. They're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left. They're going to show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of the screen in the middle, show up at the top of the screen on the right, our finish line camera, and the cars are going to cross the finish line. The winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car, and a flashing red light indicates the losing car. If a car crashes and leaves the track, no problem. We just throw out the results of that race and we start up all over again. If a car happens to crash twice consecutively, then that car is disqualified, because if a car crashes twice consecutively, it suggests there's a problem with the car that is not going to be resolved by just re-racing, running the race over again. So 2 consecutive leaving the track crashes and you are disqualified. So races are best 2 out of 3, and we are going to run through all of these cars. We've got quite a few cars. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We've got 12 cars to get to. So I am going to gather them up and head over to the track, and I will see you in 30 seconds. We are just about ready to go. I just need to double check this audio. 1 2 1 2. Yep, we are good to go. We are ready for this week's races. Everything's set up, looking good. We have plenty of cars to choose from. It's always interesting. I like the variety of the cars that are picked. I mean, I know why I pick the cars that I tend to introduce, but then having each of you pick a car is even better. And I was telling Never Ending in the comments on one of the YouTube videos that I would be doing this regardless. If there was no one watching, if there's a few people watching, if there were a lot of people watching, it's better with you all participating, and I appreciate you being here week in and week out and making your picks and trying to find this car that is going to beat out the BlitzSpeeder. We're looking for the fastest in fleet car. We've got new cars in. We're up to 900 in our fleet, and we are going to find out if the BlitzSpeeder can be taken down today. We've got some interesting storylines working. I think we are going to jump out right off the bat, go with the two. We're going to go with the two. Well, I can't say the 2 strangest cars. 2 of the strangest cars. We're going to go with the Scorpedo and the Hot Wheengs. The Hot Wheengs is the hot sauce inspired car. The Scorpedo is Roughshods' pick, and that tail on the Scorpedo means that we are going to have to switch to the taller acrylic cover. And if you have not been watching an episode where I explain about these acrylic covers, I had to build these because I designed the launcher, and the launcher fires the cars out with so much force, which is what I wanted. I wanted the cars to be fired out with a lot of force, because the faster an object moves through the air, the more, especially a car, the more drag is a factor. And there are certain things that are easier to observe the faster the cars move. So I needed the cars to move fast. So I designed this launcher to fire the cars out really quickly. But the problem was there was so much force that the cars were flying into the air and off the track. So I had to build these acrylic covers. And essentially what happens is if a car is fired out of the launcher, goes up into the air, it hits the acrylic cover, and then that sends it right back down onto the track so it can continue the race. So we have far fewer crashes on the track with these acrylic covers than we did before when we did not have those. So, but when there's a taller car, which is the case with this Scorpedo because of the tail, I have to use the taller acrylic cover, which sometimes presents a disadvantage to the smaller car or the regular sized car, but we're going to see what happens. Anyway, we've got the Scorpedo in lane 2. We've got the Hot Wheengs in lane 1. So Hot Wheengs lane 1, Scorpedo lane 2, race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Scorpedo took it. That was a very smooth race. I don't think either of those cars, they didn't strike me as fast. And maybe that was just, with the launcher. I also didn't change out. There's an elastic band in there, a very thick elastic band, and I usually change it out every couple of weeks. And the newer the band is, the tighter it is, the more force it takes to expand it, and therefore the contraction is more rapid, and it fires the cars out faster. But until I start seeing a slowdown, I don't usually just jump to change the band. But we'll see. We'll see what we observe. I might change it mid-tournament. Who knows? All right, let me get this Scorpedo. It's a little tough to get lined up. It doesn't seem to want to cooperate and stay pressed up against the launching block, which is important because if a car is not pressed right up against the launching block, it is going to get punched. And the difference between a car getting pushed out of the launching block and punched out of the launching block is going to be the difference between a car potentially crashing or having some weird kind of ejection from the launcher versus having a good, smooth, solid race. So we have both these cars lined up. We've got the Hot Wheengs in lane 2. We've got the Scorpedo in lane 1. Scorpedo's up 1 race to none. Let's see what happens. Three, two, one, race. And what happened was the Scorpedo crashed, but fortunately it was just the pincher parts of the Scorpion's whatever, pinchers, or the front part, that clipped the barrier. And we're going to line these up again. And since we know that the Scorpedo is not, it's capable of making it down the track, and there's not something wrong with it. It's not going to get disqualified for another crash. Now, 3 crashes in a row, it's out. No more benefits of the doubt. All right, lined up again. We've got the Scorpedo in lane 1. We've got the Hot Wheengs in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. So the Scorpedo lost, but part of the reason why it lost is because right at the beginning, it got a funny launch. It came out, it kind of went up on 2 wheels, and then it set down back on the track and, went about the race. But in a close race, those little things matter. So getting a wobbly start at the beginning, not good. And so that means we're going to a 3rd and final race. It is going to be the Hot Wheengs in lane 1. It is going to be the Scorpedo in lane 2. And we are going to see which of these cars will be the first to move on today in the tournament. Scorpedo, lane 2. Hot Wheengs, lane 1. Race 3. Here we go. Three, two, whoa, okay. I had an itchy trigger finger, and the cars didn't wait, and the Scorpedo definitely didn't wait, and took that race. So the Scorpedo got back on its game, got a good solid launch, even though they, you know, left a little ahead of what I was expecting. Yeah, Scorpedo is moving on. So let me grab the Hot Wheengs. Drop that here. All right, Scorpedo. Let's go. Now, how about we go? So we went with the 2 odd cars. Let's just go. We'll go with this Xbox Ford Falcon, our 900th car, against the Mazda Drift car. That seems like a winning combo, or a combo. If I had to guess, I would go with the Mazda Drift car. That's going to be in lane 1. We are going to put the Xbox Forza Motorsports Ford Falcon, our 900th car, that was selected because we had some video game console talk going on earlier. So this is what we're doing. Let me put the correct acrylic cover over the top. We won't need to bring that other one back until the Scorpedo races again. We have the Mazda Drift car in lane 1. We have the Xbox Forza Ford Falcon in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Ooh. Okay, that Mazda Drift car got the job done, and I like what I saw from it. So I think, let me see here. I think my screen has frozen up just a bit. I don't know if that includes the comments, but we are still going to go on. So if I don't respond to your comment right away, it is because the little side separate screen that I have here appears to have frozen up, but I think we're still good as far as the stream goes. So let's see. We are going to switch lanes, put the drift car in lane 2, and put the Ford Falcon in lane 1. Ford Falcon in lane 1, drift car in lane 2, race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, this drift car is fast. It won both of those races very easily, and that was not very close. Let me I'm going to reset this other screen. Just give me just a minute. did a little bit of a reset, and what I have, the way I have this set up is I have my computer that I am, like the main computer that I have all the streaming software set up on, and then I have the track set up, and all of the cameras on the track are connected back to that main computer, and that you know, they all feed back in. Well, I use an iPad with this software Duet, and it basically extends the desktop, so I can put just a monitor screen and then the comments on the iPad, and keep an eye out, and you know, just keep an eye on everything that way. But the software, it's a little flaky, and sometimes it just cuts out. Today it's been freezing up, and so I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything and that the stream was still up. And I see that it is. Thanks for letting me know. And all right, next up, let's go with the Nemo car. Are we gonna do a brother and sister race? I think we are. I think we're going Nemo versus Mid Drift. So Beyblader, let me just double check. Yeah, he picked Mid Drift, his sister picked Nemo. This is how it's going down. Nemo versus Mid Drift, brother and sister hitting the track. We are going to see how this all works out. We're gonna have the brother and sister combo. Then we're gonna have Never Ending against Caitlin. We had Roughshod versus Virgo. So we've got all the matchups here. We are gonna have the Mid Drift. It was a little heavier, but it's compact. I like the size of it, the styling. Mid Drift is in lane 2, and we have Nemo in lane 1. So this is the race. First race, Nemo lane 1, Mid Drift lane 2, Beyblader lane 2, Beyblader's sister lane 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Mid Drift took it. The Nemo car was wobbling back and forth, and it's interesting because, well, one, you would say it's fishtailing, and it's a fish car, but it's just wobbling, and usually we see that from cars that are that get a launch where one part of the car, or the car hits one side of the track and then it bounces back to the other side. But this didn't seem to be that exact kind of issue. It was just the back end was just sort of wobbling around, like the fish tail was just fishtailing. So we're gonna switch lanes. The Mid Drift took that, so we're gonna see who ends up with the bragging rights. Is it going to be Beyblader? Is it going to be Beyblader's sister? We will find out. The Nemo car is now in lane 2, Mid Drift, which I think is definitely, a very solid pick, is in lane 1. So Mid Drift lane 1, Nemo lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That race was closer, but the Nemo car started to slow down about at the halfway point, and it was all over for the Nemo car when the Mid Drift just took it out and widened that gap at the end. So Nemo will be going back and swimming back into the garage, and the Mid Drift will be moving on. All right, what do we have? who else do we have here? Let's go. We're going to go with Christopher's Bugatti against the Radical SR3, I think it was. And we'll see which of these cars comes out on top. The Bugatti is definitely like a Lamborghini, like a Ferrari, like a Corvette. A very solid pick. And I like this car. It is wide, which is good because that gives it less room to bounce around the track. So we've got that part of it. If I can get it to just stay in place. Sometimes these cars want to roll forward and I want them pressed right up against the launching block. I don't want any space because that will definitely affect the quality of the launch that they get. And then the Radical, this is a Matchbox car. It's also pretty wide. It's got that cockpit that's got the open area, so the air should be able to pass right through. So this should be an interesting race. We've got the Radical SR3, I think it is, in lane 1. We have the Bugatti in lane 2. So here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. That race was close. Like, I couldn't tell until the cars actually crossed the finish line and I saw the light come on. So it looks like the Radical took it there at the end in an extremely close race that we are going to see if the Bugatti can inch out a victory in this next race and force a third and final race, or is the Radical going to be one of the few Matchbox cars to outperform Hot Wheels cars? So we're going to switch lanes. We're going to put the Radical in lane 2. We are going to put the Bugatti, this is the Bugatti Bolide, in lane number 1. And we're ready to go. Bugatti Bolide in lane 1. We've got the Radical SR3 in lane 2. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. That race was almost identical to the first race. Those cars were like even with each other. There was no space between them, and somehow, some way, right at the end, just like in the first race, the Radical crossed the finish line first, just slightly ahead of the Bugatti. That's probably those are probably the closest two races that I've seen that we've had in a long time, and that's what you like to see. But we should see, when cars both get a good launch, what we should see are identical results. So I think both cars got a good launch in the first race, and it was a close race, came right down to the wire. And the second race, identical results. So we are now moving through these cars. We're going to go. This matchup is just not going to be it's not going to be fair, but we're going to go with the Solar Reflex, which is Caitlin's pick, versus the Basher 2, which is the car that Neverending switched to after he moved off of the Solar Reflex. And the Basher 2, one of my cars from the 80s, part of the Crack Up series. It's so heavy. I think it was, 46, 47 grams. It's just ridiculously heavy. The Solar Reflex, a former fastest in fleet champion. I think the only shot that the Basher 2 has is if the solar reflex crashes multiple times. And outside of that, this is about to be maybe the ugliest race of the day, but we're going to race it anyway because you never know what can happen. So we've got the Basher 2 in lane 2, and we've got the solar reflex in lane 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. So the solar reflex came out of the gate. It wobbled. It went up on 2 wheels, and then it got back on the track and proceeded to beat the Basher 2, which the Basher 2 was not moving all that quickly, but the Basher 2 got a great launch. And that's the thing. You can't afford to have a bad launch unless you're that much faster than the car that you're racing. And in this case, the solar reflex is by far and clearly the faster car. And even with that really bad launch, it was able to get right on the track and win the race. That kind of performance will not work against the BlitzSpeeder. It just won't. You have to be absolutely perfect in that regard. You can't have a bad launch. That is just not going to work. But against a slower car, you can get away with some of those mistakes. So we are going to see race 2. We've got the solar reflex lined up in lane 2. We have the Basher 2 lined up in lane 1. This is race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the solar reflex just opened up a crazy lead on the Basher. About starting, it was always in the lead, but about midway when the Basher, that weight started to come into effect and become a problem, the solar reflex just opened it up and opened up that gap, and that was that. So we are now one step closer to seeing which car is going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. All right, we're going to go with Keegan's Porsche Carrera against this, what was this one called? The Twin Dorado. The one that's kind of a Diora and a twin mill hybrid. So we'll get these lined up and set up and be ready to race. We're going to put the Twin Dorado in lane 1. The Carrera is going to be in lane 2. Race number 1. Here we go. Carrera lane 2, Twin Dorado lane 1. 3, 2, 1, race. That Twin Dorado started off behind the Porsche and then just started to catch it and passed it and then opened up a lead. So that was definitely not what was expected. But we'll see if we get that same result in race number 2 from these cars. And the Twin Dorado, I forget what the weight was, but I think the Porsche was just a little bit over like 36.5 grams or something like that. And we said there is a sweet spot. You want to be between 32 and 36 grams. And being just over that, you know, is that the factor that came into play or near the back end of the track? I don't know, but we're going to see what happens in this race. We've got the Porsche in lane 1. We've got the Twin Dorado in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Wow. That's the second time I've done that. And it didn't matter. So the cars, I hit the switch before I got to the countdown, finished the countdown, but the twin Dorado took that race with great ease, and so it's moving on, and we are down to, we've got 6 cars left. We have the Scorpedo, we have the twin Dorado, we have the mid-drift, we have the Mazda drift car, we have the Radical, and we have the Solar Reflex. So I think in this next matchup, we are going, we're going to go drift for drift. So let's go with the mid-drift against the Mazda drift and see which car comes out on top. We've got the Mazda RX-7 drift car, we've got the mid-drift car, and we're going to see how this plays out. Now the mid-drift car, it is on the heavier side, but it's pretty small and compact. It's only heavy because it's metal on metal, not because it's a big car. So we've got the mid-drift in lane 2. We have the Mazda RX-7 Drift in lane 1. Race 1. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. This Mazda drift car is impressing me with its speed. The mid-drift, I mean, the race was not, it wasn't a total blowout, but that Mazda is not losing, it's not losing a lot of speed as it gets down the track, which suggests that it's got a very good aerodynamic profile, and we are going to see how that plays out in these next races. So we have the Mazda RX-7 drift car now in lane 2, and we have the mid-drift in lane 1 ready to go. And yeah, here we go. Mid-drift lane 1 and Mazda RX drift car, RX-5 drift car in lane 2, race 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. And the mid-drift crashed and left the track, so we will throw out the results of that race, get these cars lined up again, and see if we can get a good, solid race with no funny business. All right. Here we go. Mid-drift lined up, lane 1. RX-5 drift car lining up in lane 2. All right, race number 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The race was close enough, but not really close. It was, I mean, the mid-drift stayed in the fight, but it was not up to defeating that Mazda drift car, which so far has been looking very fast. So we've got that. All right, let's go with the, we're going to go with the Solar Reflex against the Radical. Against the Radical SR, what is this? The Radical SR3 against the Solar Reflex. See what happens here. The Radical looked pretty good in its earlier race, and it is a matchbox car, so it's not, it doesn't have any, there's no advantage to being the Radical and being a matchbox car, since we really haven't had, we've had a couple do okay. We really haven't had a matchbox car just be the dominant car of the day and take the tournament. But this may be a first. We'll see. We've got the Solar Reflex in lane 1. We've got the Radical SR3 in lane 2. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whew. That Solar Reflex car, it bounced around. It did the same thing. It kind of bounced around. It didn't go up on two wheels, but it bounced around a lot at the beginning. And while it's bouncing around, the Radical was taking the lead, and the Radical kind of held the lead. But then on that back third of the track, the Solar Reflex, again, just being a fast car, came through and took the race right at the end. So the Radical just didn't have enough left in the tank to hang on, and we are going to see if that is a trend that continues in the next race. So we've got the Solar Reflex now in lane 2, the Radical SR3, which is definitely my favorite looking car of the day, but looks don't matter. Your performance matters. And we're going to see if it can outperform this car. All right. So we have the Radical SR3 in lane 1. We have the Solar Reflex in lane 2. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Solar Reflex pulls it out again. At this point, the Solar Reflex, the Mazda, very impressive. But we also now, next up, we're about to have the twin Dorado and the Scorpedo. And with the Scorpedo, that means that we have to use the taller acrylic cover. So we're going to see how that may or may not impact the other car that it faces. And let me get this one off the track. All right, Scorpedo. Switch out this acrylic cover. This taller one there. This here. Okay, we'll put the Scorpedo in lane 2. We will put the twin Dorado in lane 1. And we are ready to go. Scorpedo lane 2, twin Dorado lane 1. Race 1. Three, two, one, race. I mean, that Scorpedo took off like it was shot out of a cannon. I mean, it looks like the Scorpedo is getting a head start, but I know how the mechanism works on the launcher, so that's not possible. But wow, I mean, that race was over before the cars got to the first camera. That was wild. And that's not the first time that the Scorpedo has looked like that. So Roughshod may have found the real sleeper car. Because I definitely didn't expect this kind of performance from the Scorpedo. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect that. I mean, that was just incredible. Unless the twin Dorado got a bad launch, which is possible. And I'm going to have to do a little something because it doesn't have the benefit of the taller acrylic cover or the lower acrylic cover. So I have something I can do to fix that, and that might have explained why there was such a big gap in that race, but we'll see. All right, this is race number 2. We've got the Scorpedo in lane 1, the twin Dorado in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Scorpedo crashed. The twin Dorado went down the tracks. Let me grab the Scorpedo. And straighten out this tripod just a little. Make sure everything's still on track. And it is. Alright, let's get these cars set up again. Scorpedo crashing, which is something that, you know, you tend to get more of when I have to use the taller acrylic cover, because it's just not, it's not the ideal thing, but it's the only way I've found to be able to keep these cars on the track more often than not. So it is what we have, what we're dealing with. So, all right. Cars are lined up again. We've got the Scorpedo in lane 1. We've got the twin Dorado in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. So the Scorpedo that time did go up on 2 wheels. After it passed the first camera and the second part of the track, it went up on 2 wheels. It came back down, got straightened out, but not in time to catch the twin Dorado. And it's what I was saying before about the solar reflex. You can have bad launches against slower cars, but you can't afford to have a bad launch against a car that's fast, because by the time your car recovers, the race is going to be over, especially if the other car gets a good solid launch, which it appeared that the twin Dorado did. So now we have the Scorpedo in lane 2, twin Dorado in lane 1. Right now we're tied 1-1. This is the third and final race to see who moves on. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Scorpedo holds on. I think that first race was a bit of an anomaly where the Scorpedo just destroyed the twin Dorado. But the next race it lost, and then in a close race it pulled it out at the end. So we are down to 3 cars. We have the Solar Reflex, we have the Mazda Drift, and we have the Scorpedo. Since we've already got the taller acrylic cover set up, we'll just go Scorpedo. We'll go Scorpedo versus Solar Reflex and see which car comes out on top. The Scorpedo, which is Roughshods pick. The Solar Reflex, which was originally, it was Never Ending's pick, and then he decided to go with the Basher 2, leaving the Solar Reflex unclaimed until Caitlin came in. She selected the Solar Reflex, and here we are in the semifinals. It is the Solar Reflex in lane 1 against the Scorpedo, which is in lane 2. Race number 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. I had to double check. Scorpedo takes it. That race was close. We are going to see if there is going to be another third and final race, or if the Scorpedo is going to make it a clean sweep and roll right on in to the finals. see. The cars will be switching lanes. So now we're going to have the Scorpedo in lane 2, and the Solar Reflex will be, Solar Reflex will be in lane 2. And the Scorpedo will be in lane 1. And we will see, lane 1 is the lane that the Scorpedo crashed in before. We'll see if that happens again, or if we're going to get a good solid race out of these cars. We've got the Scorpedo in lane 1. We have the Formula Solar in, or not the Formula Solar, the Solar Reflex in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Solar Reflex takes it in another close race. I had to check the lights. So now we are one race away from seeing what our finals matchup is going to be. Which of these cars is going to ultimately take on the Mazda RX-7 Drift car. So let's get these cars lined up. They are switching lanes. So now we have the Solar Reflex in lane 1. We have the Scorpedo in lane 2. Presuming I can get it to stay put. Almost had it. Thought I had it. Got it. All right. Scorpedo in lane 2. Solar Reflex in lane 1. We've got Roughshod versus Caitlin. And we are going to see how this all turns out. Here we go. Race number 3. Three, two, one, race. The Solar Reflex takes it with pretty much with ease. We are now looking at Solar Reflex versus the Mazda RX-7 Drift car, and this is basically when Never Ending first picked this car, the Solar Reflex, last week. I said I fully expected it to be in the finals. I expected it to be going up against the BlitzSpeeder. That may happen, but before we get there, it's got to take out this Mazda RX-7 Drift car, which has been very impressive in its performance. And I'll say this, that I think if there's some trouble and something to look out for, the Solar Reflex it's had a tendency to have these wobbly starts. And when it's gotten a good solid start, it's been a great performer. When it's gotten that wobbly start, then it's come back and won races, but it's come back and won races against lesser cars. Now we're getting into that upper echelon, and now he's saying, Never Ending says, okay, he wants to switch his car back now. He gave it up. Caitlin picked it up. And so now we've got the Solar Reflex in lane 2. We've got the Mazda RX-7 Drift car in lane 1. That Solar Reflex is going to need to have a good solid launch. None of that wobbling. You wobble around with this drift car and you're going to get smoked. But we're going to see what happens. We've got the Solar Reflex lane 2, Mazda Drift lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. There was a little wobble from both cars, but as you can see from the solid red light, the drift car took that. and we are going to switch lanes, and we will see if the drift car can make it a clean sweep, or if the Solar Reflex is going to have something to say and get to the matchup against the BlitzSpeeder that I predicted. But it's got a lot of work to do before that happens. Solar Reflex is now in lane 1, lined up, ready to go. It needs to have another good solid launch. The Mazda RX-7 Drift car is in lane 2, ready to go. Race 2, here we go. RX-7 Drift lane 2, Solar Reflex lane 1. Three, two, one, race. And this Mazda drift car pulled it out at the end, kind of opened it up. The race was very close until right at the end, and then the Mazda drift car just opened up the lead, and that was that. So now we have the Mazda drift car. RX-5 is our champion for the day, and being the champion, your reward is you get to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. Congratulations. But this Mazda's been fast. I don't know if it's BlitzSpeeder fast. We're about to find that out, but it's been fast. The BlitzSpeeder is going to be lined up in lane number 1. The Mazda RX-5 is lined up in lane 2. This is our finals. The RX-5 drift car in lane 2 against the fastest in fleet champion, the BlitzSpeeder, in lane 1. Can the Mazda do it? Can we see some all about aerodynamics at the track live history being made? Who knows? Here we go. Race number 1. Three, two, one, race. That was closer than the average BlitzSpeeder race, but the BlitzSpeeder still took that by maybe half a car length or so. We are going to switch lanes and see if the Mazda can do, I'm not going to say the unthinkable, but it almost seems that way, because the Mazda it got a good launch. Usually, I mean, if a car gets a bad launch, then we can say, oh, well, you know, if it gets a good launch, then anything can happen. But the Mazda got a good launch. The BlitzSpeeder got a good launch, as it tends to do. And that was that. All right, this is race number 2, fastest in fleet title on the line. We've got the Mazda RX-5 drift car in lane 1, the BlitzSpeeder, the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, in lane 2, race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Mazda drift car crashed into the barrier, flew up in the air, flew off the track. So, we are going to try this again. And I see some low battery situations happening. But we just have to get this last race off to know who is the champ. Although if the Mazda wins, we will have a third and final race, but that seems like a long way away. All right, BlitzSpeeder lane 2, Mazda in lane 1, race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The BlitzSpeeder pulled no punches and destroyed the Mazda. The BlitzSpeeder remains the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. I'm going to gather these cars up, head back into the garage. We're going to take a look at the winners, the losers, and some of the surprises. So I'll be back in just a minute. I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. There was a low battery warning on my I see. I couldn't see that on the little side screen I had. So hopefully through that warning, you were able to see the end results of some of those races. I'm sorry. Next time if that happens, let me know that it's my screen. When I saw that hurry low battery, I thought that meant your phone was low on its battery, and these are all these phones are plugged in, so that really that warning shouldn't happen. So I have to check one of the connections. But in the end, the BlitzSpeeder is the car that that made the statement, the big statement, that it is still the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. And unless we can, I don't know what it's going to take at this point to beat this car. This car is so fast. Even when we find cars that perform well, it's hard to find a car that is going to beat the BlitzSpeeder. It's just extremely rare that we're seeing cars even get close. Now, that Mazda Drift car did have one close race, but then in the other race it got blown out. So how do we know, what's the real version of that Mazda car? Is it the one that was close or the one that got blown out? I don't know, but the BlitzSpeeder stays consistent. It consistently gets good launches. It consistently sort of reduces the drag, which we know happens because of the aerodynamic profile, something we're able to check out on Wednesdays in the wind tunnel. And it is just that car. It is rarely facing any competition. And so far, we're going to keep looking for the cars to beat it. The Scorpedo had an interesting run today. It was we had to use the taller acrylic cover, which I think in at least one of the races gave it an advantage over the other car, but it was still fast. But that race where it exploded out of the gates and just blew the doors off of the twin Dorado, I think that was an anomaly. Something funny happened with the twin Dorado. But the Scorpedo is fast. It's just an awkward car. Now, I think if I had a version of the Scorpedo that did not have the tail section, if you could chop it right there and take this whole upper tail part off, I think it'd be better off. Not because this is impacting the car's performance. It's just that taking this off would allow it to be in the used with the lower acrylic cover, and I think that would help give it a little bit more stability on the track. But it put in a solid performance. This Formula, I don't want to keep calling it the Formula Solar. The Solar Reflex, never ending, kind of had to sweat it out there at the end, because I'm sure that would have been interesting had the Solar Reflex come out on top today after he abandoned it for the Basher 2. But the Solar Reflex it seems kind of light, and actually specifically it weighs in at 35.6 grams. So it's not light. It kind of feels light, but it would bounce around on the track. And I'd say in at least 3 of its races, it came out of the gates wobbling. In one case, went up on 2 wheels, came back down, kept going, and that worked out. But it was just something that you can't do against the faster cars. And once you get to those really fast cars, there's just no margin for error. You can't have those kind of wobbles on the way down the track. So good series and set of races. I see there are already some picks being clocked in. So let me see what's going on. So Christopher is looking at 2 cars, as is his usual. I figure he'll take a look at those inside the wind tunnel. So he's looking at car number 478, and then potentially the Solus GT. But 478, the Ford Race GT. Oh, I'm sorry, no. He's got 466, which is the Ford, the 2016 Ford GT Race. So that's car number 466, Ford GT. Then he's looking at the McLaren Solus GT, which is 478. So we will see which car he ultimately goes with after he checks those out in the wind tunnel. And then I saw another in there. Okay, Roughshod is looking at this McGain Trophy, and I know the name and I can't picture it offhand. Some of these cars, if you just say the name, I can see the car, I remember the color, but this one is one where I know the name of it. But we're going to take a look. And then Never Ending is he's going with car number 198, and he says he's sticking this time. Car number 198. Let's take a quick look and see see which these cars are. And let's first one, 198. Let's see what that is. Car 198 is the Iridium. I'm trying to think if we had the Iridium race before. Iridium. Maybe we didn't. All right, and let's take a look at car number. Although that Iridium, it's got a very vibe that reminds me of the Track Tune, which was also one of our fastest in fleet cars a while back. Check out 323. Car 323. Oh, the McGain Trophy. Okay, this one. All right, little Renault hatchback. And okay, yeah, so Roughshod is saying that he picked the Iridium a while back. The McGain Trophy, this one, I don't think I've seen this one race yet, so we're gonna see how that does. And then 466, which is one of the cars Christopher's considering. So it's this one, this Ford GT Race, and that's another car that's interesting. I'll be curious to see what happens with those pockets on the side. With the real car, I'm sure those are open, and it kind of directs air back toward the engine, maybe to cool something off, but then also out the back to reduce that drag. And yeah, Never Ending. It's fine. You can't always bump into a car that hasn't been picked, but there are so many that haven't been picked. There are a couple in there that when I'm kind of looking through that I would pick, and I'm kind of waiting for someone to pick, because I think there's a couple cars in there that might be ready to step up and do the job. All right, and car number 478. The Koenigsegg Jesko is the other car he's considering. And yeah, I don't think that's a bad choice. I can see why you would pick it. So we'll just have to see if that ends up being the car that you go with. So you've got 2 cars. We're going to put them in the wind tunnel and see exactly what happens. On Wednesday, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, we are going to be testing the cars in the wind tunnel, but by then I will have made my little lifts that I'm going to slide under each of the tires to kind of raise the car up and see if we can get better results. We're through using the Runzable, which is the little dyno from Funtech Labs that goes inside the Winzable. We're just not getting as good and clear results as we were before we started using it, but there were some advantages to raising the cars up, so we want to keep the good, throw out the bad, and we'll see what we've got on Wednesday to work with. And in the meantime, in the next couple of days, sometime between now and Wednesday, I'll be on YouTube live, just building the little structures to go under the cars to raise them up that we will then test out on Wednesday. So there's a lot going on, and if you want to keep up with any of it, all you have to do is follow us on Instagram, AA Aerodynamics, or you can go to our website if you really want more information on the program, AAAerodynamics.com. And if you're just interested in racing Hot Wheels, you're in the right place. You can participate. Go to AtTheTrack.live, scroll through all 899, now we're up to 900, all 900 cars, and find the one that you think would be fastest in the series of races and the tournament that we hold. And if you can pick the fastest car, hey, good for you. If you can pick a car that is faster than the BlitzSpeeder, great for you. And you'll be making history. So we've had those cars. We had a good, solid group of races. Thank you to everyone who participated, everybody who's watching. If you want to watch old episodes, which I know most people watch after the fact, you can just go to our YouTube page under the live tab. All the episodes are listed with time codes, so you can jump to whichever part of the episode you want to go to. And if you want to see a slow Bob Ross style video, you can go to the live tab and click on the Buns of Steel paint job episode, and you can watch me figure out how to paint this Hot Wheels burger on the back of the Buns of Steel Hot Wheels car. So all of that is there. There's more coming up because we will be here next week to race more Hot Wheels cars. And Wednesday, gonna take a little bit more of a scientific approach to Hot Wheels racing. But it's just all a lot of fun. If you're into Hot Wheels, come on, hang out. And that's what we will be doing. So for All About Aerodynamics, for At The Track Live, and for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I am Coach James. And until next time, I will see you at the races.